to the Kent Lapp Podcast.
What was the muscle that you mentioned? Shoulder muscle. That's one of your favorite muscles you mentioned.
It's Serratus Anterior. So have you ever seen somebody in a push-up position? Their shoulder blades look like they stick up like this on their back.
Yes.
Okay. Most of the time, that Serratus Anterior is weak. It looks like the cat at the zoo where the cat's walking around and its shoulder blades are like sticking up like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that particular muscle is called Serratus Anterior, and it's very important. So overhead motion, 1/3 of all overhead motion is accounted for by the shoulder blade itself. Okay, so if you're reaching overhead, 1/3 of all that motion came from your shoulder blade. Okay.
And when you say shoulder blade, you mean the shoulder blade muscle?
No, the bone.
The bone.
The scapula. Okay, it's this muscle, or not muscle, the bone right here. So
Sure.
I'm gonna turn around in a second. I'm gonna just move my arm so you can see it.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
See that moving up and down? Okay.
Yep.
So that was actually my scapula moving. Muscles attach on that
Mm-hmm.
and fire off it. The rotator cuff actually attaches to the scapula. Okay. Anyway, the reason that's important is that particular muscle does what's called upward rotation. Based on where it attaches, it's on the ribs. It attaches on the underside of the shoulder blade, and it pulls. The angle that it pulls at, because it pulls on the bottom end of it, it causes the shoulder blade to do this.
Okay.
And it upwardly rotates. It also does this motion called protraction. Okay. Protraction goes like this right here. Okay.
Mm.
So when you're in a push-up position, that's why it's important. When you're in a push-up position, if that muscle's weak, it pops up off of the back. Pretty easy to spot.
And what do you mean the muscle? The muscle doesn't pop up off the back, but the shoulder blades do.
Yes, the shoulder blade
Because
does.
the muscle is not strong enough or developed
hold.
enough to hold.
Right. It can't stabilize you. So like when you get in a push-up position, like if I'm here on your table
Mm-hmm.
and I get there, I don't know if I can do this very good because I do a lot of push-up position stuff. But if you're here and those shoulder blades are popping up like that versus more of
I see.
this position, which is stacked.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, that's a much more stable position
Yep.
than just letting those shoulder blades sort of fall out.
I see.
And again, the reason that's important is if we get into overhead motion, there's a lot of things that can go wrong there, right? If that shoulder isn't, if that particular muscle isn't firing right, you can get what's called Impingement Syndrome, where you're basically pinching on the rotator cuff tendons going overhead. There's an arch that's there. It's called the coracoacromial arch, and the head of the top, or excuse me, the bone here, which is the humerus. If that doesn't slide under that well, it'll actually smack up against one of the tendons there called supraspinatus.
Mm.
You can also hit the biceps tendon there as well, and you can cause some tendonitis as a result of that. So some people kind of like this pain, like right there, it hurts. Well, sometimes that's as a result of a winging, it's called a winging scapular or scapular dyskinesia as a result of a weak serratus anterior or some of the supportive
Where
muscles.
is the serratus anterior?
That'd be this guy right here.
Because you mentioned, I think you mentioned something about it being a shoulder muscle, correct?
Yeah, it connects to the rib cage though, so it's not just
Okay.
a shoulder muscle. It connects to the rib cage, and it's right here. Let me get my fingers are too big for that to work, so it's right here. Okay, so you see this little bump right here. Okay.
Yep.
That muscle actually cuts around. You can see it coming around here like this.
Okay.
It forms in and attaches right there. Okay.
Okay.
By the angle pull, if I pull like this, what's going to happen to that shoulder blade?
It's going to pull the shoulder blade out.
It's going to go like this. It's going to sweep around
Okay.
and give it upward rotation based on the angle of pull.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's very important. So
Mm.
everything's based on the angles that it pulls on. So if you, I know what I was going to tell you. If you've ever seen boxers, right, and they're throwing a punch, like, say they're throwing a punch like so, you'll see that fan that comes right there, that fan muscle that looks like right on the rib cage.
Oh,
Just have Michael do like this for you. You'll see it. It's easy, okay? Yeah. But have them punch out like, dude, let me see. Like,
Yep. That's the muscle right there?
Yeah, that's the muscle.
Oh, okay.
It goes right on top of the rib cage. It's right there. So you have intercostals that are up under that. Those are the muscles that go in between. Okay.
Yep.
These lie on top. You see how it's just kind of laying
Oh,
up on
I
top
see.
like this.
Okay.
It lays right there, and it contracts on that, and then it pulls on the shoulder blade right there.
I see.
One of my favorite muscles. I really like that one.
And why is it one of your favorite muscles?
Because it's often neglected.
Oh, really?
It's easy fix.
Okay.
It's like such an easy fix to start working on that for people with impingement syndrome and other stuff like that. You literally can get people in like a modified push-up position. You can do shoulder protraction.
Oh, okay.
Just like that. In a pain-free range, you can do it. You can get a band.
That starts to build it stronger.
Yeah, it starts to make it
What can
stronger.
people do to build this muscle stronger? It sounds like it's an important muscle.
Yeah, so you can do scapular protraction. You take a band and you can like throw it around your back. Like if you have, say, a pull-up band, right? Just
Yep.
a regular pull-up band. Throw it around your back, hold it on this side. You can hold it right there, and you can just literally punch like this. Pause. Okay, you should feel when you do that, like feel along your rib cage right there.
Okay.
You should feel a
So just-
tiny, small contraction right there.
Yeah, I
Right
can
on
feel
the-
that. Yep.
Okay, that's a muscle. Okay,
So if they just work that strengthens the muscle.
one way to do it.
Yep.
But you start getting more complex. You can work fascial lines and then get it even better.
Oh, okay.
That's where it gets fun.
Yeah. Do push-ups strengthen that muscle or not so much?
If you do them right, if you just do a push up like you just let the shoulders fall,
Oh,
it won't
okay.
do anything to it.
I see. Okay.
Because then you're just relying on the joint for stability versus muscles,
Okay.
which is a lot of what I teach people. A lot of people are utilizing joints, like the joints for their stability versus utilizing the natural shock absorbers, which are your muscles. Like they're really good at taking load if we load them. But oftentimes, like my client I was talking about, the guy that lost a lot of weight, he was standing like that. So he was loading his L5S1 all day long.
Yep.
Or not all day long. He sits a decent bit, but when he gets up and walks around, he would load that. Or when he was doing exercise, he'd be like this.
Yep.
So he's constantly just jamming the facet joints, which are the joints in your back that articulate with each other. He was just jamming them up all the